Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. Today, we're about to get into Married at First Sight, specifically talking about Katina and Olajuwon. And no, I didn't forget about Jasmina. We're going to light her up too. So, I just had to record my little intro so the people from Instagram knew that we were going live. That's my new favorite thing to do now, y'all. Like, let the people know that we're all over here and ready to go. Yes. I love seeing all y'all in the chat. Okay. Truth be told, I did not want to discuss this. Well, let me explain it this way. The episode was boring. So the lazy in me was like, are they even going to want to talk about it? Do y'all even want to talk about it? But I think it's still like stuff to talk about. I want to talk about Jasmina. There's something wrong with the girl. I also want to talk about Olajuwon because by the thumbnail, y'all already know how I feel. I said, girl, run. Girl, run for the hills. Run. Okay. And I'm just getting a little, I'm just getting a little classy based laughing because I told y'all the energy was pick me. I stand by what I said. And that is not to throw blame or try to put all the negativity on Katina. She's been trained to think that way because she's been in abusive relationships. Okay. Y'all say, no, she's just being a good wife. No, you have to adjust. And one of these buckethead ass men, and I don't mean to be so aggressive, but this is how I'm feeling because he came from me personally. I mean, we come on here and Kiki, we have a good time talking about these TV shows, but one of these buckethead ass men came for me in the comments talking about, yeah, you want women to be independent and do all this stuff. Let's see how that works out for you in your marriage. Excuse me, sir. You really that pressed over what I'm saying about Katina and Olajuwon, and you've been following my channel if you know that I'm about to get married soon. But you gonna try to use that against me because you mad that I said that Katina was a pick me up? You doing too much. You doing too much, okay? I just come on here every week to have a good conversation with my friends, have a glass of wine, have brunch on Sundays, and talk about these TV shows. But no, you want to talk about mothers. Like, he has to stop, okay? So good to see y'all. Let me go ahead and say hello. Hey, Jay. Hey, Alicia. Taylor, finally catching alive. Tasia, TT, Gwen, Mina, Kyra, we in here. Sephora, Lanice, Trina, Diana. Yeah, we want to talk about it. California cutie, hey. But yeah, Kyra said we always want to talk about it. That's good. I'm glad. Ravine. Thank you, California cutie. But yeah, he was really pressed. I was like, are you serious? Like, you really gonna come for me? Talking about we'll see how that works out for you. And I hope he looked embarrassed the very next episode because I feel like Olajuwon ended up showing his ass. Like I knew he would, okay? Y'all tried to justify, not y'all, but you know what I mean. They tried to justify the things that Olajuwon was doing to manipulate her and the things that he continued to do last night, okay? I know Katina and Olajuwon are still together. Y'all know. I used to never want to talk spoilers, but the after show is a spoiler. They have given everything away in the after show. It was one episode where I was watching. I didn't watch the after show last night, but it was one episode I was watching, and Katina called Olajuwon on the phone, and whenever she did, she still had like a heart next to his name, and either said like Olajuwon with a heart, or it said like hubby heart, something of that nature. But y'all, ain't no spoilers, okay? They're telling us everything in the after show. So we're just simply here to talk about the shenanigans. Okay, another thing, don't know about y'all, but for me, the first hour was the show. Second hour was a snooze fest. I low-key don't even think I took notes on the second hour. So yeah. If I forget something, y'all tell me in the comments, but I don't think that the second hour was worth nothing. Another thing, y'all, I did do a tweet along last night because I started watching the show when it actually aired. And that was too fun. Y'all, it was too fun doing the tweet along just to see everybody else's thoughts. So if y'all are now following me on Twitter, go ahead, follow me on Twitter at Necey Dixon. So next week we can talk about it. Sephora, go ahead and tell me what Lindsay said in the after show. I just saw that. If you didn't watch the after show, you should, because Lindsay spilled tea. That's gonna have to be something that I should have watched today, because they already get 2 hours out of me on a Wednesday night. No, Wednesdays, Thursdays be a lot. But speaking of a lot, y'all, tonight is Ooh Ladies' first panel on Bonnie Blue's channel. So y'all go ahead and check out myself and the ladies on Bonnie's channel, where we're going to talk about Married at First Sight as well as all of the other shows. We are 7 minutes in because I've just been running my mouth with the introductions. Y'all already know what to do. Like the video. We're going to get into the review right now. Ooh, my face, because I just saw the tea. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Tough Topic says Lindsay said Mark and Alyssa might have had something going on. Sephora says she said that Alyssa is coming around hanging with Mark at the apartment, hitting him up in his DMs. Okay. I don't think that Mark is any better looking than Chris. Let's be real. That's why I can't believe it. Not Mark. Mark isn't giving cowboy. Mark is giving little teeth. Like, what? I'm gonna have to watch the after show. Okay. But let's go ahead and get into y'all gonna have me distracted in this chat. Let's go ahead and get into the review. Okay. I'm looking at y'all in these comments because I'm like, what's the tea on Alyssa? I could just take a sip and let y'all do it and read y'all's comments, because I'm just like, yeah, bye, Alyssa. Okay. Let's talk about Noy and Steve. They had a little bit of context this episode. So Dr. Viviana comes to the house and they talk about sex. They've been enjoying each other's company. What's new? Okay. She said on the after show, the episode before this one, that whenever he told her that he loved her, they did have sex. I don't think that was the first time. Noy let us know that she's a very affectionate person. Do y'all remember meeting her brother Michael? And her brother was like, if you don't chase after my sister, someone else will. Basically, like, if you don't, make any sexual advances, my sister is gonna move on to the next guy. And he told him that on the wedding night. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Okay. So they talk about sex, they've been enjoying each other. But the thing that was funny to me was, in the same breath, whenever Noy says that, they are having sex, Dr. Viviana asked her, are y'all having conversations about what you like, what you don't like? And she says, well, I'm to the point to where I'm getting comfortable with him. And it seems kind of backwards, but different strokes for different folks. Some people can have sex first and then figure it out once they go along. Other people have to work out communication first before they have sex. But as long as they're on the same page, it is what it is. So the most important thing that they talked about was Steve wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. Y'all, the comment section be up in shambles every time I talk about Steve. Okay, another thing that happened was that Noy was crying and she was super apologetic about hurting Steve's feelings whenever she left the house that one time with the dog. I thought that was sweet. I feel like they really care for each other. They're obviously still together if you're watching the after show. But their storyline this entire season is going to be about Steve and his career. Okay. Let me be very, 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 very clear. Yes, I understand You do not have to work a 9 to 5 to be successful. I make YouTube videos. I am a part of Ladies First panel with other YouTubers who do YouTube full time. You get paid per view, per video. I understand that. But Steve, this is where I'm annoyed. Steve has this mentality about himself where it's like, I can get money if I need it. And if I don't, oh well. My issue with that is that you can't have, speaking of, hey Bondi, you can't have an oh well mentality about something that affects your partner's livelihood. That's simply the point I'm trying to get across. And a lot of people are not understanding that. And the other thing I want to talk about, a lot of people are like, he has money. People don't understand how much sales engineers make. Cool. Okay. He makes a lot of money, or he has a huge severance. What about when it runs out? Okay. These are conversations that we have seen Noy try to have with Steve. Steve is reluctant to have these conversations, or he just has some sort of laissez-faire ass attitude about it. You can't do that when you're in a partnership. And that's the point that I've been trying to make. Okay, I'm not trying to demean him because he doesn't want to work a 9 to 5. So that's not what I want to talk about in the comments. Okay. The other thing that took me out was whenever Noy expressed her concern for him not having something secure, his response was, well, do you want a clean house? Food isn't going to be cooked. The counters aren't going to be clean. The house isn't going to be clean if you want me to go work a 9 to 5. And I'm kind of just like, so you want to be a house husband? So you want to be a house husband? I don't think that Steve is providing a solution to Noy's problems, okay? He's not giving her any reassurance. He's not giving her any security. He's simply telling her, don't worry about it because I can get gigs. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. And I don't think that majority of you would be okay with that, especially if you enter a relationship and you're a month in and you've never seen this person close contracts, because I'm assuming he's a contract worker. You've never seen this person freelance within the 4 weeks. You have no visibility to the amount of money he has saved up. A lot of y'all would not be comfortable with it, even though y'all are acting like y'all are. Okay. And I mean, it's much different than whenever you contract in other ways. You kind of do it on a consistent basis because you want the consistent amount of money, yada, yada, yada. One of y'all, I can't remember who it was, but I appreciate y'all sending the DM. One of y'all sent me a DM, and it was from an article, and the article was claiming to know, I'm looking at my DM trying to see where it is. The article was claiming to know where his money was from. I want to say it was like Anna. I think it was Anna who said it. But anyway, the article claims that he helped create an app years ago, and that's where his money comes from. Cool. But y'all know I'm about to play devil's advocate, and I'm about to do the shit that y'all hate for me to do. We never knew that. He never discussed this on the show. So based on what we're seeing on the show, if it were a Black man that came on the show and said that he didn't work, but he had a lot of money, would y'all just believe it? Would y'all say that because this man wears basic clothing, that he got money because you could tell by the way he dressed? Would y'all say that? Y'all, we didn't even let Michael from North Carolina, the North Carolina season, we didn't even let this man say he was a damn yoga instructor. We didn't even let him say that he was a principal. So it is just beyond me that we can calculate all his coins just based off him saying that I'm a freelancer. I'm like, are we watching the same show? Because we didn't do that seasons ago. But now, yes, it's him being Asian. It's him being Asian helping, and him saying that he's a sales engineer. You guys, one thing y'all need to understand. Sales engineer. He works in sales. Sales is a difficult ass job, no matter where you are. If you work in tech sales, medical sales, there are highs and lows. There are quotas that you need to meet. And if you don't meet them, you lose your job until you get another gig in sales. So a lot of people are trying to tell me, well, he's an engineer. Not that type, you guys. Like, I'm not about to argue with y'all about our hypothesis on the amount of money that Steve has when he hasn't told us anything. He hasn't told us anything at all. I'm simply just trying to say that he's not providing Noy the reassurance that she needs to be in a partnership. Because if it's just you, no problem. Go do whatever the hell you want to do, okay? You get a gig 1 month, you can't get a gig for another 2 months. All you got to worry about is putting gas in your car. Or maybe you're just a little bit behind and you know you're going to make it up with the next gig. That's not a lifestyle that Noy wants to sign up for. So I'm like, I understand you can be a successful freelancer, independent contractor. I understand that. Okay. So that's pretty much that for Noy and Steve. And I'm glad we had that conversation. This man don't want to work, okay? And y'all know damn well y'all wouldn't trust a man who didn't want to work, okay? Contract workers still work. They have to get contracts. Steve does not want to work. So that's what's going on. He wants to be a house husband. Let's move on to the next couple. And TT, you stole the words out of my mind. She said, gas is expensive now. Steve going to need to work. He is, right? So let us move on to the next thing. Let's go ahead and talk about Lindy and Mark. We're going to save the two clowns for the end. I don't know. And this is something I might need y'all to vote on. Who gets clown of the week? Is it Olajuwon? Is it Katina? Or is it Jasmina? I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments so we can make our decision by the end of the video. But like I said, let's move on to Lindy and Mark. So in the beginning, we see Lindy and Mark, or not Lindy and Mark, we see Lindy on FaceTime with a friend. And she's talking about how unsatisfied she is with her sex life. She says that she was more satisfied when she was just out in these streets dating, right? And her friend was telling her, hey, you didn't come this far just to give up. Love y'all in the comment section. You didn't come this far just to give up. It'll be okay. You worked hard for this. This is how marriage works. So they get a visit from Dr. Viviana. And basically, one thing that I love that Lindsay did right here was Lindsay made it clear as day that the first night they met, Mark initiated the intimacy, the sex. And y'all tell me if it's just me, but Mark irritates the fuck out of me more than Lindsay. I thought it was going to be the opposite, but Mark irritates me much more than Lindsay. Mark is always trying to come off as sweet, non-intimidating. Lindsay is the bad guy because she always shows her ass, and I'm just here. I'm just trying to keep the peace. That's the attitude he always has. Even whenever he brought his ass on the after show a couple episodes ago, and he said that Lindsay encouraged them to have sex because she would play with herself and he would feel like he had to join in. What do you mean? What type of grown man sits here on TV and you say that this woman, your wife, made you feel pressured to do it when you didn't have to do it? So that's why I'm glad that Lindsay made it clear to everyone that the first night they had sex, he was the one that initiated. He also wanted us to think that, I need a little bit more, what did he say? Chemistry, a little bit more communication before we get intimate. You didn't need it the first night. And we all know damn well. Do y'all remember how lit Lindsay was on her wedding night? And in my review, I told y'all, if I was Mark, I wouldn't even feel comfortable having sex with her. That's what I told y'all. So to know that he was the one who initiated that, and we know that Lindsay was drunk off her ass, what are you talking about? You need more chemistry before you have sex. You're trying to use things I guess to gaslight. You're trying to gaslight. You're too afraid to tell Lindsay that y'all don't vibe. You're too afraid to tell Lindsay that her personality is too much. So you're trying to come up with other reasons to slow everything down. And like Keisha said, you're playing dumb. You're playing dumb. And it is so irritating. Even whenever Dr. Viviana came to the house and they talked about the sex. Lindsay, she's childish, okay? She's childish. I told y'all her personality to me very much reminds me of a kid who was never disciplined. Do whatever you want, you're perfect. And she grew up into an adult. She was a badass little kid / brat who turned up into an adult who can do whatever she wants to do. So she's talking to Dr. Viviana, and Dr. Viviana's like, okay, so how was it? How has your sex life been? And she killed me when she said, I mean, it was good. It was okay. She never said good. Let me correct myself. She said, it was all right for the first time. You know, I thought he was going to be able to handle me. That was wrong. I rewound that like 3 times because she was dead ass serious. She said, I thought he was going to be able to handle me. I was wrong. And he's sitting there, and Mark, even then, doesn't want to stand up for himself because he's waiting for Dr. Viviana to do it. So the whole time Lindsay's talking, he's looking at Dr. Viviana with those eyes. He's looking and waiting for her to check Lindsay. And she says, well, do you want your marriage to work? And Lindsay says, yeah. And she says, well, you're going to have to stop talking to him in such a rude manner. And Lindsay is funny. She's funny AF. But it was like, she was intentionally just trying to be rude, in my opinion, because she said it was good for the first time. So she was definitely trying to take digs at him. I feel like at this point, she gets a kick out of bullying him because she wants him to stand up for himself and he won't do it. He wants somebody else to do it. So anyway, the other thing, okay, Dr. Viviana tells her not to be rude. I don't remember Mark saying anything on his own behalf. Your wife told the world that you shit with the door wide open. Your wife told the world that you fart underneath the covers. Your wife told the world that the peen ain't hidden like that. And we've never heard you say anything one time because you're waiting on somebody else to stand up for you on your own behalf. Now, they end up playing the sex game later on in the episode. And, you know, they had the gagging balls and all that stuff, the candy underwear, yada, yada, yada. This couple is hot and cold. And Mark is so passive. Mark wants to be seen as the good guy so much that the reason why I think that they're not together is because of Lindsay. I don't think that Mark would have asked for a divorce. I feel like Mark is the type of person to say yes on decision day and then get a divorce afterwards. So the reason why they're not together, in my opinion, is definitely going to be Lindsay. They said he don't need to tell her nothing else. She is constantly trying to belittle him. And I think it's because she knows that he's not going to stand up for himself. So I don't know. Who do you dislike more? Is it Lindsay or is it Mark? For me, it has to be Mark because Mark is just so like, say something, stand up for yourself. And TT, I'm right there with you. She said I could have definitely done without the ball gag scene. Was it just me, you guys? It felt like we were on the sex scene with Lindsay and Mark for like 10 full minutes. And as soon, it was like the first hour of the show was moving. And then as soon as they got to the ball gag scene, we were there for like 10 minutes solid. And that's when I was like, oh, y'all ain't got nothing else to film. Y'all ain't got nothing else to edit, to produce. And this is why we're looking at Mark with these candy draws on for a solid 5 of the 10 minutes that they were on screen. I am disgusted. So now we can go ahead and get into, who do y'all want to? I want to end with Katina and Olajuwon. Let's just go ahead and talk about Jasmina. Let me go ahead and get my clown mask because it seems like as a collective, y'all have made Jasmina the clown. Then finish your thought, Michael. Jasmina. Girl, girl, there's some marbles missing. No shame. That's just what I see. That is just what I see. Okay. It wasn't okay. So get this, y'all. In the past episodes, I would watch and be like, Jasmina irritates the fuck out of me. But it wasn't until last night that when I saw the way that Jasmina conducted herself in that conversation, I was like, something's wrong. I found myself trying to look behind her eyes to see what was missing. I was, something's missing. Okay. Something's missing. And that's the explanation. It wasn't until last night when I was like, oh, wow, you really are serious. You dead ass don't think that you are ever wrong. It's something going on. So to speak on Jasmina and Michael, we see them playing a game. They're having conversations, pulling things out of the bucket or whatever, asking questions. And Michael asked Jasmina, what is it that I can do better in our relationship? And Jasmina says, just talk to me. Jasmina. I can't even say your name regular because you were just so irritating. Girl, we have been hearing you say, just talk to me this entire show, yet no one can talk to you. I don't think you understand that your relationships are at fault because of you. I don't think Jasmina understands that she is the one who cannot be communicated with. You keep saying, just talk to me. Michael has been talking to you this entire time. Michael has been more than open with you. Well, hold on, y'all. I'm getting beside myself because he did lie about the roommate. He did lie. I'm getting beside myself. Michael, for the most part, he's been more than open, okay? From the first episode, he said that he knew that he could withdraw from relationships. He would find something wrong with the girl, and then he would end it before, something really bad ended up happening. He would prematurely end his relationships by picking the person apart. He also said that he would sometimes be emotionally unavailable. That's what he was saying. This entire time, well, majority of the time, 99% of this show, I have to say, Michael has been vulnerable. Michael has not picked Jasmina apart, even whenever she deserves to be picked apart. He hasn't done that. Okay. So the problem is you, Jasmina. Now, just talk to me. Next, Michael asked, or Jasmina asked, what would you like for me to do better? And he says, I would love for you to listen to understand I'm not your enemy. And I feel like Michael is just showing so much patience. Y'all, I know he lied, okay? I know he lied. But overall, I feel like Michael is showing an insane amount of patience for Jasmina because I would have called it quits. I would have called it quits. Then they talk about what they like about each other. She says she likes his arms, and he says she likes her smile, which you could tell she was insecure about because as soon as he said that, she was she didn't want him to see her smile after he said that. So, girl, the other thing, I didn't come on here last week to talk to y'all and do my individual review on Married at First Sight because I did my review on Ooh Ladies First Panel. But Jasmina, we didn't forget. I didn't forget to address how you can't have a regular ass conversation with your husband on some how was your day type shit. But you want this man to open up to you about seeing his dead brother. get the fuck right now, respectfully and disrespectfully, get the fuck right now. That's all that I literally have to say. That it pissed me off. Okay, they try to make it seem like it was a bonding moment between Jasmina and Michael, but to me, I was irritated. To me, I felt like Jasmina, she's feeling very much like a narcissist, in my opinion. She didn't give a fuck about how Michael was feeling in that moment. That moment where she cried, to me felt like a power movement. It was a power move. Like, okay, he says he needs to feel vulnerable to fall in love. Let's see if I can make him feel this way. Jasmina and Olajuwon are extremely similar. Jasmina has all these requirements for what she needs out of a husband. We're watching Michael jump through hoops to meet these requirements. Michael says what he needs to fall in love, which is vulnerability. And then you put him in a situation to where he gets vulnerable. You want to test him to see how much flex you have in this relationship. You want him to cry, and you did. Now, speaking of Michael, Olajuwon, we'll get to him in a second, but what else happened between them? Okay, Dr. Viviana comes, and we find out that they are not intimate at all. He says that he's letting her take the lead. Jasmina says that she needs to, feel comfortable with someone on the emotional level and mental level before she gets physical, which is fair. But Jasmina, you are about as solid as a damn brick. Okay. Y'all are never going to make it to a physical point in this relationship with the hard ass exterior that you have. So Jasmina says she needs mental first, and if she don't have mental, then my vagina's not gonna get wet for you. And that's exactly how she said it. But y'all know they had to edit and make it seem messy. Like she was saying that she can't get wet for Michael. She was saying that she couldn't get wet for anyone without the mental connection first. And this girl just irks my soul so much that whenever it's not gonna get wet for you, I was like, so they end up arguing. Now, I know one of y'all can hear better than me, but I refuse to rewind this part because I don't have the patience to listen to Jasmina treat Michael like a damn schoolboy. So whenever Dr. Viviana was there, I feel like they started talking about Michael being aggressive. I think that's what it was about. And I'm so glad that Dr. Viviana told her that aggressive term was offensive, because Jasmina, you're pulling a damn Karen. I told y'all time and time again, and I'm going to tell y'all every single episode, Michael messed up by admitting to shit that he didn't do because he thought that it would, put them in a better place. He thought that, fine, if she thinks that I was being aggressive, if I say that I'm aggressive, then I'll just admit to it, learn from it, and move on to make her happy. But no, she's a Karen. Never admit to shit you didn't do when it comes to somebody like Jasmina. So they end up arguing, okay? And it feels more so like Jasmina is arguing with herself because Michael says things to try to, put his hands up. Hey, hands up, calm down. I'm not trying to fight you. And their words to me just felt like a maze. Those video games where it's like a ball and you got to decide where to go and the ball's like moving fast and bouncing or whatever. Or no, not a maze. It felt like Snake. On the first phone I ever had, I had a Nokia candy bar. And it just do, or whatever that thing is, whatever. Y'all visualizing. That's what the whole argument felt like to me with Jasmina. Jasmina was just, Michael would say one thing thinking he was out in the clear, and then she would block his ass. Get that shit out of here. She would block. And I'm just like, get a damn life. Get a life. So I didn't rewind it because I had no interest in finding out what point Jasmina was trying to make, because I'm sure it was none. And my note specifically said, arguing, can't even hear because Jasmina won't shut the fuck up. My note literally said that. Can't even hear because she won't shut the fuck up. So after Dr. Viviana leaves, Michael then tries to have a conversation with her and says, maybe I can try journaling, or we should try journaling to communicate better, because they can't cut each other off if they do that. Jasmina, feeling like she's too good to journal, she says to him, well, you can journal. I think we should just check in with each other. We should just check in and say, are you done? So they're talking and they're doing this. Are you done? Are you done? And I don't know if it's just me, but if somebody, are you done? To me, I'd be ready to cuss them out. I'd be ready to argue. To me, that's disrespectful AF. So this is why, Jasmina, this is why you're not an expert. This is why you don't get the coin or even the lingo to call yourself a relationship expert. Because if Dr. Viviana would have wanted y'all to check in and say, are you done? She would have told your ass that. But you like to make things difficult, which is why you tried to come up with a different tactic after Dr. Viviana left. If she said to journal, get out a pen and paper, bitch. Okay? Get out a pen and paper, because I cannot stand this woman. Michael was making valid points. So you know what? The kitchen was getting too hot. Jasmine and her long ass legs got up, left the apartment to cause a dramatic scene, because she was no longer winning this game of ping pong about nothing. And what's funny is Michael was not even being argumentative. Michael was just calling a thing a thing. She couldn't take it. She got up and she left. Of course, the people filming was like, go back in there. Go back in there. Y'all got to finish this conversation. Y'all got to talk. So she goes back in. And when she does, he's telling her, like, I'm not trying to argue with you. If this is what you want to do, let's do it. Michael, that's where you messed up again. Stop allowing Jasmina to dictate how the relationship should go. Y'all shit is not going to work, because no relationship, I don't care if it's like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, husband type relationship. No intimate relationship like that is going to work if you communicate to each other waiting for the other person to finish their sentence. So you shouldn't have agreed to whatever plan Jasmina came up with. Jasmina needs to marry her own damn self, and she needs to spend some extensive time trying to figure out what's going on within. The other time I knew something was wrong with her, was whenever Michael was crying and she was on the after show watching the episode. And on the after show, she said, he's been through so much. I can't imagine losing someone like a dad or a brother or even my mom. Well, Jasmina, when you were introduced to us on the show, your storyline was you lost your dad, you lost your mom, and your stepmom adopted you. So how is it? This is the bigger problem. Jasmina, I feel like, has never faced any of the actual hurt that she's gone through in her life. And I feel like she hasn't healed. So it was just beyond me that you could completely separate yourself from the pain that you saw Michael going through, as if you couldn't relate. Okay, maybe it not be a death, but your biological mom walked out of your life. Your dad left you. We're not going to talk about that. Michael's the only one with problems. So yeah, that's when I knew something was wrong, because the disassociation is real. We're all seeing that she lives in a world of delusion. She can't even, listen to the words or process the words that's coming out of Michael's mouth. I think that's why she's so delusional. But hey, I'm no psychiatrist, but she needs to go see one. So we'll move on. They end the episode acting all cute, acting like they're cool again. They don't argue for 2 scenes. So, that's all cute until next week when Jasmina shows her ass again, I'm sure. So finally, y'all, let's talk about Katina and Olajuwon. But we have 173 people in here, which is a good amount of people. So go ahead, y'all do me a favor and like the video so we can go ahead and talk about the last couple. Okay. Shanice, I saw this question. I want to talk about it before we move on. Let me switch pictures. Shanice says, "Why did Michael rate the marriage 7 out of 10?" Honestly, y'all, I think Michael is giving her too much grace. And another thing that I wanted to know is how much do they really argue? Do we only see the bad arguments whenever the camera gets around? Is Jasmina one of those people who gets camera fear and they start acting all awkward and weird when the cameras come around? Because we've seen plenty of seasons of people do that. Plenty of seasons of people not wanting to discuss certain things when the cameras come around, and then behind the scenes, they're all good. I don't know. Because it seems like they only they show quick clips of Jasmina and Michael giggling, talking to each other, chilling, looking like they're having a good time. But whenever we actually spend dedicated time talking about them, it's always negative. So I think it's a possibility that it's stuff that we're not seeing, or even she just acts completely different whenever the camera comes around. I still stand by what I said. She needs some help. Okay. So let's talk about Katina and Olajuwon. And y'all were exactly damn right when y'all said clown and clownette. Clown and clownette. Okay. This is just some foolery. And I was disgusted. I know we ain't got to this part yet, but whenever Olajuwon forced himself to cry and Katina went from tears to she started admiring him because he was crying, I was disgusted. Get your fucking life right now, both of y'all. So, all right, let me get to my notes. So, Dr. Viviana comes to the house, y'all, and everything's great. Their relationship has been going so good. And Dr. Viviana wants to know, okay, well, if things are going so good, they give us all the tea. Why is it that every time y'all get into an argument, it's about food and groceries? What's that about? And Olajuwon just says, that's just what I need in a relationship. Y'all, he always doing this. Higher, setting the bar higher. Every time he talks, he's putting his hands up here to show Katina the next bar that she's gonna have to jump over. So that's just what I needed from a wife. That's just one of the things I said is absolutely necessary from a woman is for her to cook and clean. And Dr. Viviana, this is the type of energy that you should have had with Jasmina's lame ass. She says, I mean, did you not eat before you were married? And I busted out laughing. And he says, well, I did the takeout thing. But now that I have a wife, and he started speaking for Katina. Dr. Viviana wanted to make it clear that he shouldn't place his value in a wife on whether she cooks or clean. And if he does, then the relationship isn't going to work. And she's like, Katina, do you know that, he doesn't think this of you? And he says, she knows that. You're speaking for her. You're continuing to call her lazy in front of Dr. Viviana. You're saying that, she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean, she seems very lazy, she can't think like that. It doesn't seem like she cares about the relationship. She only cares about herself. And you continue to beat her down. What we keep seeing is he does this. He works just like an abuser, okay? By no means am I saying that this man is abusive. I don't know nothing about this man other than what I see on TV, but he definitely has abusive qualities. He is the type of guy who will beat a woman down mentally, emotionally, just to turn around and falsely build her up in the same scenario, in the same scene, in the same conversation. Because whenever you do that, you're telling her, this is what I don't like, you suck, but I love you, come closer. So it's like, here's what I need of you. As long as you achieve this, I'll continue to love you. And now I feel like I'm even more disgusted because Olajuwon, you know that she's been in an abusive ass relationship. She said she was emotionally abused. You know that. You know that her mind is already messed with. You know her mind is already damaged from being taken advantage of by a man. And you continue to perpetrate that. You continue to do that. Just like last episode, when this girl told you that she trained herself not to cry, what did you do? You argued her down until she cried. Okay. This is something that me and Bondi was talking about on Ooh Ladies First panel last week. Bondi called it out. She said he basically wanted to see her cry. And I feel like he's a narcissist. That made him feel good. He wanted to know that you trained yourself not to cry for so many other guys, but you'll cry over me. And likewise, when I tell y'all Katina is a pick-me, Katina wanted to be a pick-me so much that she broke those tears for him because she knew that that's what she was going to have to do to show that she loved him. And the reason why I know that is because whenever they had the conversation about love last week, she said, I think I know what will help you. I think if I just start showing my emotions more and start doing more around the house, that'll help you. So Katina already knew that the next expectation was for her to be vulnerable. And if that meant shedding tears, that's what she was going to do. She was a pick-me. She is a victim. And her mind is warped to always try to jump over the next hoop that Olajuwon puts in front of her, because the minute he beats her down, he's going to build her back up. He did that from the beginning. Anytime he wanted her to do something, he kept putting emphasis on the importance of you're a wife. You're a wife now. You're Katina Dickerson, a wife. He really he's done it in such an obvious way to me. And it just seems very much textbook. Okay. Seems very much textbook. You're trying to make it seem like you want more for her. This low-key remind me of like Enough, the movie Enough. You come get the girl out the diner. She really wasn't shit. She wasn't shit before you. You buy her everything she wants. You build her up. You hurt her. You build her up. You do it again. You do it again. It's on a different scale, y'all. Okay? And we're seeing it all happen in front of us. And Katina is going with it. Something about their relationship to me just feels, keep in mind, y'all, Katina never had a man in the house. So it's something about Olajuwon having this very much father-esque, head coach type personality that she likes. She wants to please her husband. She's never been a wife before. She's never been in a household where she's seen a husband and a wife together. So she needs validation. She's always seeking validation, and Olajuwon knows that. And keep in mind, Olajuwon has never been in a house with a mother and a father together. So Olajuwon wants to feel like that dude. Disgusted, okay? I'm disgusted by it all. So she ends up crying. Okay. After all of these years of training yourself not to cry, you can cry at the drop of a damn dime. That's crazy to me. So she starts crying in front of Dr. Viviana. I'm not saying that her tears were fake. I'm just saying, if you spent all this time training yourself not to cry, it's just so crazy to me that we've seen you cry so many times with Olajuwon. And I still feel like this man gets a kick out of it every time she does cry. So she finally speaks up for herself. And yes, Megan, build her up to break her down, simply put. So she finally speaks and she says, you need to work on your tone. You need to work on your tone and just your overall energy. And he says, I hear that. And Dr. Viviana says, okay, but not just I hear that. What do you mean? And he says, yeah, I hear that. I need to work on my tone. And Dr. Viviana says, okay, and what else? And he says, and that's it. That's pretty much it. He don't want to admit to anything else because he thinks that he's completely right. So that's whenever Dr. Viviana says, I can't help you if you have an archaic way of thinking when it comes to a wife. She says it's a flimsy idea. And if you think that you do, if you think that this is all a wife is, then you're never going to make it with anybody at all. And you're right, Jay. He never did answer the question. Where did you get these ideas from? He never answered the question. Y'all, he got the ideas based off of influences that he's seen on, TV, shit from growing up. Better yet, Olajuwon reminds me of a Kevin Samuels ass type of dude. The alpha males, the ones who talk about what women should be on social media, and they spend all their time talking down on women all day long. They're the type of men who praise a submissive woman. You guys, we've talked about this before. It ain't nothing wrong with a submissive woman when you have the right man to submit to. Olajuwon, you've proven yourself to not be shit based on what we've seen. What the fuck is she submitting to? Excuse my language, but this man has pissed me off. What is she submitting to? And, I'm not really giving Katina all the smoke because I absolutely see Katina as a victim in this. I know they're still together. And just the way Katina was operating when it came to the home visits, she operated like a victim. She then distanced herself from her friend who was voicing her, concerns or red flags on Olajuwon. We haven't seen the guy friend come around who she values his opinion so much. So she definitely could put herself on an island with Olajuwon, just to make him happy, and it's working. And Olajuwon knows that. For this man to seem so dumb, he knows absolutely how to manipulate her. So Olajuwon, after he beats her down, after he finds a way to say that he's not wrong for any of his beliefs to Dr. Viviana, he then cries. He says, "It's just because I care for you so much." Ain't that what they always say? I'm hitting you because I love you. I'm beating you down because I want you to be better. I'm doing this to you because it's for us. Katina, I'm disgusted. Olajuwon, I'm disgusted at the stuff that we're seeing on TV. Dr. Viviana is seeing what we're seeing, which is why Dr. Viviana was telling you. Dr. Viviana does this thing where when she knows something isn't right, she directly speaks to that one person. And that's what she did with Katina before she left. She said, "Katina, you need to voice how you feel, because if you don't, he'll never know who he's actually married to." And that was real. That was Dr. Viviana saying a little bit, but saying a whole lot. Dr. Viviana was saying, if you don't create some sort of boundary, this man is going to walk all over you, or you're going to train yourself to live within a 4x4 box, and you'll never be able to get out of that box because this man will have your mind and your body trapped and you won't be able to get out. So if that's something that you're not cool with, you need to speak on that right now. And I feel like that's what Dr. Viviana was trying to say. So the other thing that took me all the way out is after Dr. Viviana leaves, after Olajuwon does all this beating down of his wife, he then comes home to a slumber party. And it really wasn't a slumber party, but that's what the hell I'm calling it. Olajuwon wants to be raised. Can't raise a man, K. Michelle. Olajuwon wants a mommy and a wife in one. I feel like this man has been babied. This man has been taught that he is the king of the home. I think this man has been taught that he is the apple of everyone's eye with his receding ass hairline. And women have allowed him to believe that, which is probably why you have a history of only dating white women. And no shade to white women. Y'all know there's a tokenism, okay? The ugliest of black dudes has more clout when it comes to a gang of white girls, okay? Just for him being a black man. So I feel like that's aided in Olajuwon's feeling of, self-inflation. He's just way too infatuated with himself. And that's probably based on the history of women, the type of women you dated, okay? So he wants a mommy. He comes home. Katina has a table cover laid out like it's a 6-year-old birthday party. It's a red table cover. She has multiple popcorn bags laid out because they're going to have a movie night. She has candy laid out too. She didn't cook. Popcorn's not cooking. But she definitely did something to make him feel important. And that's all he needed. The only thing you were missing, Katina, was you forgot to invite all his big head ass friends over to the house, and you forgot to lay them motherfuckers out a pallet on the floor so he can watch Star Wars. Because it was giving childish AF to me. Okay? And he's training you, and you're going for it. And it's sad. It's sad in my Bella Noche voice. But it definitely was giving Cars themed birthday party. Okay. It was giving Cars theme. You just needed the red car, the truck. It was childish, and I was disgusted. But y'all, that's all I got. Let me read some of these comments. Y'all light up the comment section before we hop on off of her, because her or here. Her hop on off of Katina's head because we've been going in on her this whole time. Or hop off of here. Either way is good with me. But yeah, let's go. So Nye says Katina's dad was in jail. She's desperate for love and never saw a good example. Right. Danielle says Olajuwon scares her. Literally, he is. Right. Grace. She says the experts have watched abuse before. They have. They know exactly what's going on, just like we see what's going on. And B Stokes. She says this is irresponsible on the expert end. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Dr. Viviana kind of did this thing where she leaned in to Katina. I'm no, whatever it's called, physical, whatever. I'm no body motion, whatever the name is. Y'all know the name. I'm no expert when it comes to that. But the way she leaned into Katina to specifically speak to her was giving me more of a like, I'm here for you. Is this what you want? Are you okay? Blink twice. That's absolutely given. Okay. TT says, yep. Every time she cried, he had a satisfying look on his face. Facts. He just rambles. And no, his African dad did not raise him. He mentioned it in the beginning. Hold on. I might have said that wrong. I might have misspoke. I feel like either his dad died when he was really young or his parents were not together. It's one or the other, but he wasn't raised in a household with his dad. Alicia says she's still broken from her past relationship. She is. Facts. She absolutely is. Jay. She said they probably agreed to not speak negatively on camera, but Katina is the only one doing it. Yeah, I cannot. Lenice, I'm right there with you. I didn't like her going out of her way to please him. It was so ugly. It was. It's sad. It really is sad. Oh, Rachel. She says, I was waiting for Olajuwon to ask where the meal was. Me too. It wasn't a meal out. It was literally just popcorn. She dressed it up real cute for him. But that goes to show y'all that this man cares nothing about food. This man cares about feeding his damn ego. Okay? The popcorn was good enough. And even whenever it was like the housewarming party, he wanted her to be doing the physical work of bringing all the food to the house. It wasn't good enough that she coordinated it. He wanted her running all over the city for his housewarming. Yeah, no, he didn't even ask where the meal was. He wasn't worried about it. I can't. Shin, she says she was so excited to do something right for him. It broke my heart because it won't be reciprocated. It won't. It won't. Yep. When he said he didn't like black girls, I knew Katina wasn't safe. Me too. Katina, I feel like, is going to have to do more than the average white woman that he would date just because she's black. He did say that she's beautiful the way she is. And I know some of y'all, when I mentioned that he was going to make her do more because she was black, a lot of y'all didn't understand what I was saying. Y'all were like, well, he thinks she's beautiful. He thinks the world of her. He likes her. Fair. Okay. Fair. There are plenty of men from all races who find different women of all races, attractive in some way. But if that's not your usual type, let me simplify it all the way down. Okay. Whenever you are used to dating a bunch of fine assholes, and then you find an average man and you say, let me give this average dude a chance. The minute this average dude pisses you off, you like, I can't stand your short ass. Ugh, I can't stand your receding hairline ass. That's whenever those things start to marinate. Okay, those things start to brew whenever you're in conflict. So you're gonna have to do more than the average. I understand that he thinks that she's attractive. Okay. What else? I think that's it. Stony says, I'm nervous that people are going to tear her down when she decides to say that woman needs to be lifted up. She's used to men tearing her apart and doesn't deserve it, even if she's a pick-me. I'm glad that you said that, Stony. I'm glad that you said that, which is why whenever I said that she's a pick-me, I said I felt bad for her because she was a victim. Okay. So all before long, I felt like, oh, she's a pick-me, 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 pick-me. But now that I see a little bit more about her history, a little bit more about what she's willing to accept from Olajuwon, it is clear as day that she's a victim. So I feel like once this show ends, that's when she's going to have more visibility to what people have to say. And it's either going to give her enough strength to leave, or it's going to drive her closer to Olajuwon because he already has her mind warped at this point. Shanice, I don't even remember what happened with the intimacy basket because the last hour was so damn dry. I don't remember what happened with the intimacy. Oh, okay. Katina and Olajuwon. I don't remember the questions that were asked, but I know that she took a shot off of his stomach. And he said, good thing I took a shower. And my mind automatically flashed back to the wedding night, and we saw this black king in some dirty ass drawers. Y'all tell me I wasn't the only one who thought about that when he said, good thing I took a shower, when she took that shot off his belly. So whenever they did that, they ended up going to the room, they were kissing, they were hugging, and I'm pretty sure they ended the night doing whatever had to be done. Yep, all they did was a nasty body shot. Yep, belly button, stained drawers, doo-doo drawers, nasty. Some people were saying that it wasn't doo-doo drawers, it was just a stain. I don't care what it was. Don't wear your stained underwear on your wedding night. Okay? You shouldn't have been beefing at that wedding. Ain't nobody got time for that. We come here to have a good time. But yeah, the belly button, I'm sure it does stink. And Shin was right there with me. As soon as he said that, she thought dirty drawers. Shin. Yeah. But y'all, that's pretty much all I have. I hope y'all enjoyed this review. Catch me in 2 hours on Bondi Blues channel. And shout out to Bondi for being in the chat. We're going to talk about it again tonight on her channel, as well as other gossip and other TV shows like that. So with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.